People just don't know how to live nowadays, man. So I went through a pretty annoying experience, and maybe some of you guys would be mad for me when I tell you, but to be honest, I'm not too mad from it. I'm more disappointed. But after coming back from 2 years abroad, I kept telling, folks, I'll set up a barbecue, just like a little get together thing, have some fun. And then, some old buddies from back were just like, oh yeah, okay, send us the details. Let's sort that out. I'd be happy to go. It sounds fun. A barbecue always sounds fun until it's time to commit. So I gave like a month and a half notice. We're in the same city. Like, some of them haven't seen other buddies for a year, so obviously things change. But I'm like, yeah, let's just bring people together. I literally have a chef who's a friend, a bloody chef, who is hosting it at his own house. A brisket. You can't go wrong with a brisket. Really good southern type of food. Like, you're basically walking into free food. He likes to host. So this is basically a free barbecue. I postponed it until the finals, the World Cup finals, so we could watch it on a projector screen. Free. Just show up and have fun. And no one came, except one person. Shout out Henry. No one came. Everyone was egging me. They were like, oh yeah, so who's going to be there? Is this person going? How's this guy? Like, are they going? Are they there right now? And then they all bail out at the last minute. After that, it made me realize that people just don't know how to live. Now, I have nothing personal against the people who decided to not come. I see it as their loss. How can you hear about a barbecue, right? Free food by a goddamn chef who's offering, who's hosting, and you can watch the World Cup final on the screen. Even if you can't make the game, you can just show up after for like an hour, grab some food, and no one did. And I asked the chef, because he's obviously had a lot of business experience in different industries. Now he's in the manufacturing business, but, he obviously does hosting and hospitality work. And I asked him, I'm like, why? Why are people like this? Why are people flaky? And he said, people are just weird, man. Like, people are too comfortable. They don't want to do new shit. You have to actually write formal gifts or write formal letters saying you're invited, because then they're almost forced to show up. And it's like, is that really what we have to fucking do? Is that really what we have to do to bring people out of the house, to do something new that they would benefit from more than anyone else? Like, we're the ones hosting it. We're the ones figuring out logistics, how to set up the cable, cooking the food, cleaning, vacuuming, getting things ready, and all they have to do is show up, and they can't even do that. Get out of my face, man. People don't know how to live. They'd rather just live at home. Even with all the money, these guys, it's not like they're struggling. Like the specific buddies that I invited, a lot of them have stuff going on. They got a partner, some of them have a house, some of them, all they do is just dial in on their work, which is fine. That's great. But they don't know how to live, and they're too comfortable. They don't do anything new. And you know what? This made me be increasingly disappointed in people nowadays. People don't even have the common courtesy to let you know ahead of time, no. Just tell me no, or tell me oh, I actually might have some things with some buddies on the weekend. Sorry, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. Then at least I can tell okay, there's a heads up. But egging me on, blue balling me, and then flaking at the last minute and not even saying anything after I sent an invite, after you saying that you were down previously, it's cowardly. It's really cowardly. And this is a reflection of how people decide to live their lives. I'm not saying everyone has to show up to a barbecue, but let's be real. Life designing, right? Part of that is what this chef did completely perfect. He did it perfectly. He owns a duplex. He owns a beautiful home, right? Every Sunday, he cooks he just hosts for random people, whether it's his girl's friends, not like his girlfriend, but his girl's friends, the neighbors around, whoever wants to pop in. His kids sell lemonade at the front. It's people, he's actually doing something. He actually has a beautiful patio at the back. So what we did is we just cooked. We ate food. We sat in the basement, watched the projector, watched the World Cup finals. It was a great game. Argentina, it was pretty one-sided. on Argentina's part. They were the ones that got screwed. But then, after we had a great conversation, we had someone who came over who's tired of his job. He's trying to hop into entrepreneurship. The guy who's hosting, the chef, is a serial entrepreneur. So he was giving out gems. He was laying out information. It was an experience, and it was 2 people, and it was great. We sat in the sun at the back deck, getting some sun in. It's like these people who didn't come, you're missing out. You're missing out. And I know part of it is I'm kind of letting forth my frustration, but it's like, don't go out of your way again to host things that people will not appreciate. Like, it's honestly cowardly, and they don't deserve it. If they ever hit me up again saying, oh, let's do it again, I'm not planning it. I'll just tell them, sure, but I'm not planning it. I'll show up and someone else can plan it. Anyways, what was I going to say? Yeah, people don't know how to live. They work relentlessly on their own projects. They stay with the same girlfriend, the same group, and they don't leave the house to try something new, because it's like they don't know what life design, what an ideal life design should be. Instead, they're like, okay, we got the girlfriend, we're 30 years old. She's telling me to stay at home, to not go out late. We're just cooking at home. We're going to sip the coffee mug that says best boyfriend ever. That's it. When instead, you can actually design some dinner parties to host with your friends at your place. You can install a fire pit at the back, right? You can have a deck so people can sit on it and look at the sun. You can have a telescope that looks at the stars. Shout out to Chris Sturmey. I got that idea from him. Just a glass of wine, even like a mini bar. Like, these are things that are a proper life design, and people don't know how to do it. I don't have a problem with people who decide not to, live a life of constant travel, or it's not like that. But at least try something before you decide not to try it, or not to do it, or to actually embrace it as a lifestyle. Does that make sense? It's like you haven't even given yourself the opportunity to see a different perspective. If you've actually witnessed a different perspective and you chose not to engage in it for whatever reason, that's totally different. It's fair. But you don't even allow yourself the opportunity to get uncomfortable, to step outside your comfort zone, and to gather other approaches to life, to actually see what other opportunities are out there. People just don't know how to live. Instead of splashing $1 million on a random house in Calgary suburbia just because you feel pressured that you have to have kids at 31 years old, just take $200K of that and go buy a studio apartment, like a bachelor pad in Europe. Okay? Do it in maybe not Lisbon, because Lisbon is a bit pricey. For 200,000 euro you can find something, but Canadian dollars, USD. I mean, you can still find something in Europe, obviously. You can go to Montenegro, you can go to Albania. Maybe you won't have, the pristine beach views right at your doorstep, but you're still near the beach. You still have the access. You go there 3 months of the year, you rent it out the rest. Okay. Is it going to take you maybe another couple years or a few years to maybe get that money back to put on an actual house back home? Sure. But it's an asset. It's an additional lifestyle. It's an additional component to your lifestyle, which is going to elevate it tenfold. That's just one example. It's like people do not know how to live. And I'm sorry, I'm getting this off my chest, but it's like, this is really also a North American Western thing. This might also happen in the UK and things like that. But even in Australia, you don't have this. Someone says we're doing you're doing a barbecue. Everyone's out, they're bringing their sausage, they're bringing their Italian chorizo to the grill, and everyone's putting them on. They're doing it at the beach. People obviously in Latin America and Southern Europe and Middle East, where my family's from, this isn't even a thought that comes up to our head. It's come over. We're cooking some kebabs. We're cooking some burak. Yeah, come. Let's eat, It's it doesn't have to be this formal thing where it's no, this is just life design. It's what else are you doing? You don't drink. If you don't drink, you're not going out. if you're not doing, the cool stuff that you can do sober, because you don't have to drink at a function, at a barbecue, at a cookout, at a cafe, at an ice cream place, at a rooftop bar. You don't even have to drink alcohol. Like, you can have a virgin drink. It's like the list goes on and on. It's like, what else are you doing then? And I'm not saying we have to do it all the time, because obviously we want to just relax. We need a day just to decompress and become essentially lazy for a day, just to let off some steam. But it's like, I don't know. I'm kind of going on. I just found it quite disrespectful. And it's also the reverse culture shock of coming back. And it could just be a Canada thing, man. Like, a cold country, people aren't going out. People don't want to try new things. It's like, one of the buddies was saying, "Is this other buddy at the barbecue?" I said, "No, he's not." And then he decided not to come. It's like, you don't know who you could have met, and you haven't seen me in 2 years. So, anyways, I don't take it personal. They miss out on stuff. People, they don't know how to live properly, in my opinion. I'm just going to put it out there to be completely blunt. They're held back by fear. They're held back by discomfort. They're held back to, like, you don't know what's on the other side. You don't know what other perspectives you may gain to live a different type of life that you actually would not regret, or that actually might propel you to your highest self. So you're shooting yourself in the foot.